It's okay.
Okey doke, welcome everybody. It is 7. The first item on the agenda is the minutes from March 2nd, I believe. Everybody have a chance to look at those?
Yeah, I don't know if we make a motion first. I did have a small amendment that I told Anna about. I don't know if we need to
We
talk
can-
about it or,
Yeah, make a motion and then we'll talk about it.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 2nd.
Second.
Okay. I'll second that. And Gillian will too. And we'll open that for discussion. Lori, what was your amendment?
There was just about the select board clerk hourly wage. I believe we had said that we would start it now at the lower wage and then it would go up in July 1st. And Anna had said it was going to start being hourly on July, or that had been written that it was going to start being hourly on July 1st. So I just wanted to put it as it started immediately because I already posted it that way. So
Okay, sounds good to me. I move we approve that amendment.
I second.
All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
hi.
Aye. Any other corrections, additions, suggestions? They all look good to me.
And Lori, when when you post it again, then if it's July 1st, you should say that the wage is $16.25.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Anna, I see you there over on the end of the screen. Hi, thanks for coming. And thanks for those minutes, which we just approved. Payroll and vendor warrants, we'll be coming in to sign those. And I see the next agenda item, I think, is scheduling what's called the regular town meeting here, but it's the annual town meeting, which ordinarily is in June. Josh, I don't see Katie nearby. Is she there? Because we usually like to have the moderator part of these discussions
Right.
for setting a town meeting date. And we'd like to have the FinCom because they have really the essence of the meeting with the budget. And sometimes they like to squeeze us towards the end of June, but it sort of depends on the year.
Very.
So this year, we're okay with the middle of June?
We're okay with early June.
Okay.
You know, the reason being that the state came in with all the numbers that we needed early this year. I'm not sure how that happened exactly, but
Yeah.
they did. So
Okay,
we're in fine shape, actually.
great.
We could even
Yeah,
earlier.
a lot of cash coming in, actually, unusual.
Well, there is, yeah. It's and the question was always, you know, what do you know and when will you know it?
Yeah, and how careful should you be in spending it?
Well, that's the vote of the town. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so does anybody remember we were sort of going for alternate dates, one on Saturday and then one during the week at night for the annual? Last year, it was on a Saturday?
We've been doing them on Saturdays because we need to do them outdoors during the day.
That's right.
I don't know if we want to think about continuing on a Saturday just in case we
Sure.
again need to do it outdoors, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
People seem
Or
to
we-
like it outside.
yeah. So shoot for Saturday. Anybody have a calendar for the middle of June?
Or early June? Can we do early as early? as June 4th?
Sorry, early June, right?
The 4th, the 11th, either of those would be all right.
We would if we end up approving our select board schedule as proposed, we would have a meeting on June 1st for our select board meeting, and then we could, you know, I don't know if it helps just to have a meeting right before the meeting.
Right.
And then we could meet on June 4th. I have the
Okay.
annual town meeting on June 4th.
Yeah, Josh, is Katie okay with the 4th of June?
Yes, are we muted? I think.
No.
No, we hear you.
No, we
Okay.
just can't hear Katie if she's off to the
Oh.
side.
Yes.
But we can see her shining face though. So we go with the 4th then. Is that right?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And then as far as the select board schedule, as already mentioned, Glenn, do you want to give us an update on that? The proposal for first and third and overtime?
And can I just take a step back for one moment?
Sure.
Are we gonna hold it at, what did we do, 9 or 10 AM? Or
10.
10, okay,
And no earlier than 10, there's a lot of setup.
yeah,
Oh,
Right. 10 a.m. Thanks for that.
And
Yeah.
if it was bad weather, we would assume we'd go into the town hall unless there's a pandemic emergency between now and then.
Right. The town hall has sort of been okayed for use with masks at this point. So that's what we would do, I guess.
And if the circumstance changed, we'd still be, that would leave us plenty of time to be able to reschedule it.
Right. Good point.
This
That's
is a good part of it, yeah.
that's a good advantage to
It
that
is,
date.
yeah. It's unfortunate that we had to squeeze it in, but there were reasons. All right.
Okay, then Glenn, schedule.
Yeah, so at the last meeting, we'd agreed that I would put forward a draft calendar of select board meetings so that meetings would be moving towards first and third of Wednesday of the month rather than an every other schedule. And I emailed the select board earlier today a draft of that. It essentially wouldn't really start in earnest until May because with the special town meeting on April 6th, obviously you won't have a select board meeting that night, the first Wednesday in April. Yeah, so you have the schedule and then I've also listed the times when there are 5 Wednesdays in a month when the select board could choose either in advance or closer to the time to have a third meeting in a month.
Right. Good. How does that sound to everyone?
I
Okay.
think it sounds good.
yeah. I think it sounds good to me. I haven't gone through to look at every single date, but I
I might, well,
I like the first and third.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine with me. And the only other question is, what about the third meeting? The third meeting of the month possibility. And I'm still in favor of me taking the extra meeting.
Yeah.
But what do folks feel about that?
I feel fine about that.
I'm fine with that too.
Okay, great.
The
And there
first,
is
third,
the-
and fifth Wednesdays. Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, the third meeting of the month, sort of,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Good,
2
me
meetings
too.
per month. So, yeah, so that it seems like we're all happy with that and can do that. I think the only thing I would request is that we do, excuse me, a good outreach campaign to tell people this is happening. So,
Yep.
you know, putting it on the list and putting it in the newsletter and et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. Yeah, an email to all the departments and everything. Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
The one other thing is the April schedule. I put in a April 14th meeting for you, assuming that you will want to meet twice in April with the special town meeting on the 6th. The 13th would be, the other option would be you could do the second Wednesday. I just wouldn't be able to join you that particular night.
Yeah, I'm not really clear on that last part, Glenn. Could you go over that again?
Sure. So one of the impetuses of this is that I have school committee meetings on the second Wednesdays of the month,
Right.
which in April would be April 13th. And so you have the special town meeting on the 6th, and you're going to want to get in 2 meetings in April, I'm assuming, regular meetings. So perhaps you would meet on the 13th. I wouldn't be able to join you, but if you wanted to reschedule for the 14th, I could. And then there would be, then your next meeting after that would be April 27th for the 5th Wednesday.
Right. So in order to meet with you that first week, we would need to move to Thursday. Is that it?
That's my proposal. Yeah, there might be other times that week when I could do it, but Thursday works if it works for you all.
I'm good for Thursday if everybody else is.
So you're saying Thursday, the 14th?
Thursday, the 14th, and Wednesday, the 27th would be the meetings for the select board in April.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I also am okay with that.
Okay, great. And I think that's that, Glenn, on the schedule, approved 100%.
Excellent. And the schedule I presented to you is through December. So maybe I'll put onto the agenda for maybe mid-November or early December to just check in about how it's going and make changes if it's not working.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks.
One thing we'll need to keep in mind for a Thursday meeting is you probably need to sign the warrant before the meeting. 'Cause I
That's
think
right. So
Carolyn
yeah.
wants it on Thursdays, right? Or Wednesdays or Thursdays, so.
Yeah, I put onto your calendar when all the warrants are happening. I have them for the Wednesday night. It will be ready, but the day after would be when you would sign most likely, unless you have a early work morning like Gillian does tomorrow and you have to come in late at night to do it. By the way, the warrant is ready for you to sign now.
And I'm sorry, Glenn, did you say that the warrant needs to be signed by a certain time tomorrow?
No,
No.
I'm just saying, I was just referring to Gillian said she has an early work day tomorrow, so she's gonna come in tonight to sign it, but
Oh, right. Well, while we're on that, Lori, what time would you like to sign tomorrow?
I guess I can come in the morning at 9-ish.
Whatever's good.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, I'll come in around 10 or so.
And I'll be there tonight.
Thanks, Gillian. All right, I think that's that item. Then we've got town hall painters. I did meet with another painter the other day. Still haven't gotten a bid from him, but we do have 2. And I did ask that an article be put on the special town meeting for $20,000 for the painting, because we did have one bid that was less than 20. So if that sounds okay to everybody, we'll just wait for the 3rd bid to come in and hope that it's lower, but if not, we have one option.
Sounds good. They can't paint
Yep.
yet anyhow, right? It's not
Right.
warm enough yet.
Right. All right, now the next item is administrative support for inspector's office. But I don't see Phil here, do I? Or,
no, and actually, I think that this has gotten outdated since Monday already. So
oh,
Lori
Yeah,
was,
I think it's
go
been
ahead.
settled. Phil has
Oh.
figured it out.
right, okay, I guess I did see something about that. That's good. Federal COVID funding updates, FEMA, ARPA, and CARES. Did you have anything on that? Glenn, at this point, or?
Yeah, I have a little bit. I'd hope to have more, but the warrant has consumed the time I thought I would have to work on that. But essentially, we do have a report of what there was a little confusion about what have we submitted for reimbursement for CARES and how much is left.
Right.
I was able to track down the contact, and he was able to share with us a report of expenses we have already submitted. And Aaron was able to generate a report of things that we have not submitted for yet. So we can work on closing that out, submitting for whatever we have, and returning if there's any excess left back to the state. I just became aware of a third source of COVID funds that is available for expenses incurred up till July 1, 2022. It's FEMA funds, and they essentially can reimburse a subset of what CARES could do. So it's not entirely clear. You kind of have to, my contact said that essentially they don't have a lot of really clear guidance about what they will approve and what they won't. There's kind of a general gist.
Yeah.
But essentially supplies and nursing staff, et cetera, overtime are things, but those things are covered by CARES as well. So I'm assuming that there's the kind of bandwidth to do it. I hope to get to see if there are things that CARES didn't reimburse us for, either because of timeline or for some other reason, and we could pursue reimbursement from FEMA for those.
Glenn, I did some work with Alicia when she was there around
yeah.
the FEMA expenses
Great.
or FEMA opportunities. And we kept coming back to that there was no way we were going to be eligible. I'll see if I can find my notes on that, and
Oh, okay.
just to save you some time,
Thank
if that
you.
is the case. But we went round and round about that, so
Oh, okay.
I'll see what I can find.
And then the other piece is the ARPA funds, and Doug and I had a conversation, and there's still some more work to do to get clear about that. But Doug, do you maybe want to kind of lay that out a little bit, our conversation?
So it's a big question. So we've been told by some people at the county level that, we could claim the lost revenue, and we've also that some of the people there are convinced that towns will just be able to put this money in the general fund. What the mechanism for that is not clear. So one of the questions we hope we can get some answers to is, if there's something, let's say the town hall painting, it's been suggested that we could use that money for that, which would make sense if it was in somewhere or another eligible. If it were to be paid with ARPA funds, but the funds that were going to go to the general fund, it would be coming out of free cash and stabilization next year. If it was the usual route of windfalls is that it goes to the general fund, it gets certified as free cash some months later, like this year's, like the example I'm thinking of is like when we sell real estate or something like that. It's money that comes in that's not the usual, goes to the general fund. It gets certified as free cash, and then we can put it in stabilization and spend it on something specific. On the other hand, some things that we know are eligible, like the computers for the library and the office, we know that we can simply charge those to that account with when we get the invoices. So that's obviously simpler and it's immediate. But if there's some doubt as to whether something meets the final guideline criteria, it doesn't seem like a good idea to simply charge that to that account, because that could raise questions later. And why bother, taking that chance? so these are questions that are kind of, they're part of, DOR and the COVID people from the feds, and I guess you're gonna go to a workshop, right, Glenn? You didn't go to that yet, right?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, so maybe they'll address that then. Maybe the FERCog will give us more information about how to move the money into the general fund. I'm sure it's a funny mechanism. I mean, when you have a vote at the town meeting saying, all the money that's in this COVID account, we're going to move it to the general fund. No, you couldn't do that. You could try to move it to the stabilization fund. And that would kind of make sense if it was legal to do that. Then, because the bottom line is that the appropriations of things has to be approved by and large by the town meeting. And if you didn't have a mechanism like that, it would be like saying that the select board could just spend this money on anything they wanted to, which it's not going to be. I can't imagine it's going to be like that.
No.
That doesn't seem logical. So they'll have to set up a mechanism for that if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's say they do say you can take it as lost revenue. Well, yeah, okay. What's the mechanism for taking it?
Okay.
Yeah, and they
Right.
definitely are saying you can take it as lost
Yeah.
revenue, and that's being writ large for us. But yeah, how the money then gets anywhere else is unclear.
So there has to be a mechanism for it. Now, Erin has been learning about this too, so she may get some word somewhere about it.
So
Okay.
can I just ask, have you spent ARPA money on the computers? And then in that case, you're using another mechanism? You're saying it's an approved.
Yeah, the ARPA, the computers, I wrote a proposal for that Erin thought worked. It involved a process of need, rationalization for how it fit the criteria, and the description of what we would do. And I don't feel any problem there at all, no matter how many
Okay.
computers we buy, just charging it against the ARPA fund. And she's okay with that too. Erin is.
So it sounds like eventually there will be a mechanism to just move it into stabilization, probably.
It must be, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
That's all I have.
Good. Thanks.
I mean, I suppose the one thing is there's no hurry. It's sitting there. It's not going to expire. So whether we're able to do that by town meeting or not doesn't really matter. You could do it in a future town meeting. So I don't know how much of a priority it is for them to give us guidelines on that.
Okay, so special town meeting warrant. Glenn, I thought you did a really excellent job of putting that together. For the first one that you've ever done, it's gets an A.
Oh, thank you. With a little help from my friends. I'd say
Yeah.
my skills are more in asking for help than in writing warrants.
No, it seemed to be laid out according to Hoyle. It looked really good. The only article I'm responsible on that is really the painting of the town hall. That looks fine. And I think most of the other articles came from other departments and they all look good to me. Any other thoughts from anybody else about missing articles or Gillian?
I just had a note that at the beginning, in the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, blah, 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 blah. It says we're going to meet on the common in front of the town hall, but I think we had agreed we were going to meet in the town hall.
Right.
So we'll meet, so that just needs to be updated to say at the town hall.
Good
Yep.
catch. Good catch. Yeah, I'd like to have an opportunity to explain the money that is moving to the highway department very briefly.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
people understand what that is. So the FinCom, we met with Phil and discussed this and tried to come to some arrangement or agreement about what their budget should be next year, which is very hard to do right now, but we're still working on that. But we've looked at the budget reports, and as you know, the highway department budget is very complicated right now because we put $126,000 extra in it to do the storm damage. We haven't got that money back that we expect we'll get, or some part of it. And the actual expense of it was more like 146, and it might still be going up for those specific repairs. So we're looking at where they are right now, and it looks to me like they have like $78,000 in their budget, and they should have about 100. And so we're putting 30 there. My thinking is part of it is to get them to where they've got close to a third of their budget would be, because the budget report I'm using was from March 2nd, so that it's a third of the year left at that point. And because we raised wages there mid-year, we know that there's a little extra expense that they wouldn't have had there. So we think that 30,000 ought to get them through to the end of the year. And then what happens when the money comes back? Again, it's questions, where does it go? Is it going to general fund? Is it going back to the highway department? Erin's not sure. She thinks it might just go to the highway department. We'll see. It'll, wherever it goes, we'll work with that.
Yeah,
So that's 30 of it. The 35, so the highway department had a turn back of $65,000 last year. There was 2021 money that they didn't use. Part of that was because they hired fewer subcontractors than they usually would, because we were panicked about what might happen this year, which didn't happen. And I don't know what they've been printing money or something, I guess. So whatever it is, that didn't happen. And so we thought it's a good opportunity to put money into the tractor. Now, what I had heard like last year when we were talking, feeling like we really couldn't spend a nickel more than we had to, was that they'd rebuilt the transmission on the tractor and they thought it might make it a 3 more years. But the last time I talked to Phil, he said, you know, this tractor really isn't safe. It has no roll bar. And it doesn't have any protection to prevent it from rolling over. And they put it on banks and things like that. And as soon as he said that, oops. So I thought we put 35 there now, and they can use it for a little while, or we'll think about what it'll cost ultimately to buy a new one. It could be something between $45,000 and $65,000. We're not sure yet. And then we may put more money toward it at town meeting. So.
okay.
That's kind of what the rationale is there.
Thanks for the explanation.
Was
Can I
that,
ask
Right.
a question?
go ahead.
The town hall painting, I had sent an email about whether that money came from rehab or ARPA, but Doug explained why we're not doing ARPA. I guess when I did finally get to talk to the whole energy committee, they did feel that it would be nice if, if the money was there, that we use something other than the rehab funds. So I guess maybe my request might be that we put it, when we do get to spend ARPA money, maybe we set aside that chunk for energy stuff.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Totally reasonable thing to do. Absolutely.
Great.
We do think that we do agree that it's an appropriate thing for it to be used for energy related projects whenever possible.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Any other questions or thoughts about the warrant?
I guess I just had a question regarding, I guess it was a question from Aaron about identifying what accounts like the tractor would come from. We have available funds on the warrant.
Yeah, that's always the way we've said it. And
Okay.
I'm not sure if she prefers it to say stabilization fund, that'll be fine. Well, so we got to check in with her. I think it could be that the version she saw originally didn't specify available funds. So I'm not sure. So
Okay.
we'll have to check with her. That would be okay. I mean, or that could also be a motion, because my understanding is the main thing in the warrant posting is the money and the purpose. That
Right.
That you can change the source as part of the motion.
Okay.
Right. And Gillian, that's normally what we do is we, well, I don't have that article in front of me, but it should say from available funds or other available sources. I
Mhm.
guess available funds covers it, but during the motion, we say on the town floor, when the motion is actually made, is when the source of the money is finalized.
Okay,
We put that in the wording of the motion. That can be changed on the town meeting floor. The amount can't be raised from
Right.
the posted amount. It can be lowered on the
Okay.
floor.
thank you.
Yeah. Is that in the warrant? Good job, Lynn.
Yeah, so I guess maybe just a little bit of logistics. So it seems like there will be a little more work happening to clean up the language or, insert the bylaws and whatnot. So maybe as a schedule, we would aim to have it finished by Monday and available for you all to sign Tuesday and then post on Wednesday, something like that.
That sounds good. That meets the timeline, the 2-week timeline, does it?
Wednesday a week from today will be the day it needs to be posted by 7 p.m.
So we would sign it during the day.
I don't know. That's what I wanted to check with you, what works for you all in terms of when do you want it really final and ready for you all to sign in time for the posting.
I think we should do sooner rather than later. I think we should do it as soon as we can.
Okay,
We've essentially approved it tonight, I think, unless there's any further questions or changes, but I think this constitutes the informal approval. The warrant article numbers need to be put in.
yeah, the numbers, the formatting with the bylaws. And do I also need to put in what the motion is? I had that in an earlier draft, but I took it out for this current draft. Does that need to be in there?
No, the motions do not go in on the posting.
Oh, okay.
The motions are only made on the town meeting floor.
So I can connect with you, Dan, more with the questions like this, orientation for the coordinator
Yeah.
on his first time doing this. But
Absolutely.
yeah, and I'm not planning to be back in the office for the rest of the week, but I can work on it a little bit remotely and email it and all that. So
Yeah, why don't you work on it remotely? I don't think there's very much to do.
Yeah.
You have to insert the wetlands regulations.
I'm waiting
Is
for
that,
those. Yeah.
is that a lot of, how many pages are those?
Let me see. Hold on just a sec.
The only complication there is just sort of hard to put up on the wall, but it's good to know.
In PDF format, it's 18 pages.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's a problem, but that needs to be posted physically.
Does that mean we also have to print that out for the meeting? Copies?
Yep,
I guess so.
yep.
Um,
Yeah, so if they're happy with the final draft of their regulations, then we shouldn't need to review that text. It should just be able to go right in.
Sure.
But it needs to go in and, as the full however many pages. And that all needs to be physically posted on the window there at the town hall.
Yeah.
I wonder if I don't know if, you know how you can make it so that it prints 2 pages on one? It reduces the size of it, but if we do that and back to back, then it may bring it to 9 pages or something instead of,
Yeah,
or actually so you're saying 18 single pages, so it's 9 pages. We might be able to get it down to 5 pages.
Well, and it will be on a legal size, right?
Yeah, it could be.
So
Did the legal size paper get delivered? We had ordered some. It came?
it
yeah,
finally
okay.
came, yeah.
Oh, good.
So I'll sort it out. I'll figure out what makes sense. Yeah, if nothing else, we can just tape it to the glass windows, all the different pages and whatnot.
yeah. I've done it before. This doesn't set a record.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you can find a way to put 2 pages on one legal size page and make the print a little smaller. That'd be great too,
Okay,
especially when we need to do multiple copies for the meeting, but we don't have to worry about that yet.
yeah, maybe we need a version that's like, I don't know if we need a version that just has to be consistent and on the legal paper for the notice, but then have something much more usable for handing out.
Yeah,
Offer
Yeah.
people magnifying glasses at the meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone bring your readers.
We can announce ahead of time, people should look at it online before the meeting.
Really.
that's a good idea.
Mhm.
And we probably, I wouldn't think we need more than 30 copies for the special.
Right. Yeah,
I don't remember what's we did
That-
last.
that's usually, it usually comes in less than that, and people can share on a big document like that. Okay, I think that does it for the special. And we got Department of Fish and Game land purchase.
I wonder, I have a question.
Yeah,
I just have a couple of items that I wanted to add to future select board meetings, and you probably don't need me for the rest of this meeting. Could I
okay,
insert those here? Okay.
sure.
A couple of things to do in the next few weeks. One is to meet again with the assessor so that we can go back and review this issue of the administrative assessor. She's pretty much agreed that that's fine to drop it, but wants to put money in an amount for consultants in her expense line, which is also fine. But I think a broader discussion needs to decide how much that should be. And also to clarify what it would be used for. And then there's also some opportunity to, necessity to discuss things that the coordinator might be doing in the future as part of his job. And one of those, there's a couple suggestions that have been made, and one is from Carolyn regarding doing human resource work. And so I can forward the information to the select board to review it ahead of time, but I think having a meeting with Carolyn is there and Glenn to discuss that. And then my suggestion, I also still would like to follow up a little further on is, which is becoming more glaringly obvious because of the transportation money at the school not being resolved yet, is the issue of getting some administrative support to the school committee in order to get things, important things done, bureaucratic things.
Right.
So if those
Okay.
could be on future select board meeting agendas, that's would involve the persons involved in those pieces.
Okay, you got track of those, Glenn?
So that
I'm
would
a-
be Joanna Bartlett or any other school committee members who would want to talk about it. And then the treasurer and myself.
Yeah, I'll get those on the future agendas.
So then if you don't need me anymore, I can go to
Take
bed.
the rest of the night off.
Yeah. Collapse after a day of grandparenting.
Nice to see you all.
Good to see you all. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, Doug.
You're very welcome. So
Bye, Doug.
appreciate what you're doing. Thanks a lot.
Likewise. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Right.
Okay, Department of Fish and Game, land purchase.
Yeah, I'll paste into the chat the letter, the language from the letter of support that you all would be having Dan sign off on your behalf. And it basically says we support the acquisition of this particular parcel. And we understand that the Department of Fish and Game will retain the property as open space, protect and manage the wildlife resources, and provide public access for passive outdoor recreational opportunities, including wildlife observation, hunting, fishing, and trapping.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Department of
this,
Fish,
this means it takes it off the tax rolls, right?
that's correct. That's the downside.
And we don't really have any. They just get to take it.
That's sort of what it comes down to.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it sounds like they're paying back taxes.
Yeah, they're actually sweetening the deal, which is pretty unusual. And they're paying something, which is, they don't really even need to do that. I mean, they've done it without doing that before.
Mhm.
And, we're always lobbying for payment in lieu of taxes,
Mhm.
because that's a number that's gone down a lot in the last 20 years. We used to be getting $300,000 and $400,000 a year in payment in lieu of taxes, and now I believe it's less than 100.
Mhm.
So we're always hammering our reps to bring that back up because it's very unfair.
Mhm.
But I think that's the avenue we pursue this on, is politically, because there's not much we can do about them actually buying it.
Right.
One
Unless-
thought I just had, sorry, Josh, it didn't occur to me until now, but just in the future, things like this, we probably could consult the Open Space Committee. I'm sure, I would imagine they would like this because it's increasing or keeping open space, but just in the future.
I think they would appreciate it.
Yeah,
Should we at least send them the information that it's happening?
Yeah,
yeah, it's a good idea.
We'll do that.
Thanks.
thanks, Lynn. So,
Josh has a question.
hi, Josh.
Hi, no, I'm muted. Where am I?
No,
you're
you're
not.
not. We
You're
hear
not.
you.
Where is this property?
Hmm.
It's off of Jennison. Maybe
in
the
11.
corner of Jennison and Cooleyville.
Yeah, that I can't
Pretty
answer.
small.
20 acres.
No, 11.
11 acres.
Acres.
11, yeah.
Four Corners.
Is it on the Four Corners?
Well, there's, it's a crossroad.
Yeah.
Is it listed on the town list?
Sure.
What's this
It's a property parcel.
Yeah, okay,
I have the parcel number and the lot number, if that helps.
sure.
It's parcel 410, lot 17.
Okay, thank you.
That's map 410, right?
Yeah, you'll have to help me. I don't know the exact language that I should be using. I currently have it listed as parcel 410 lot 17.
Okay.
Okay,
Parcel 410. Lot 17. Oh, okay. Maybe so that's map 17, then I guess.
I don't know anything about it. I have to learn.
The Open Space Committee might be able to help you. If you feel,
with those
like
two
you-
numbers, you can find it with the book.
It is map 410, parcel 17.
Okay, great.
Oh,
Thank you.
map 410 parcel. Okay, I'll change
Carolyn
that.
Manley lists it that way.
Right. That makes more sense. And yeah, Glenn, all the property in town is broken up by parcels and maps according to the assessors. And right out in the corridor of the town office building, outside the assessor's room, there's a table in the hall that has the maps on it.
Yeah,
And all those maps, each map has a number. And if you look at one of those maps, every piece of land has a parcel number.
Okay.
So that's the key to all those numbers in those two books. There's one big book, which is maps, and then there's a little book, which is like an 8.5 by 11 book with all the data for every parcel.
got it. Okay. All right, so I'll edit that to say map 410 parcel 17.
Yep. Yep. So do we have a motion to support this effort by Fish and Game?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Then we can vote. All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. So that's approved, and Glenn, you could send that out, and or just print it out and we'll sign it along with the warrant.
Just needs your signature, Dan.
Right, okay. Then we have planning board appointment. Is it just one, I think, or?
Actually have two.
Ooh,
I don't know how to pronounce Seal's last name, Seal Madeline and Mary
Thomas.
Thomas.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know generally we just print and sign appointment slips and we probably could do that here. I didn't know if if it makes sense to start, particularly when this is an elected position that we're doing an interim appointment, if we should start doing it such that it's reflected in the minutes so that we take an actual vote at a meeting. That's why,
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons I had Glenn put it on the agenda.
That makes sense. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that idea.
So I can make a motion to appoint Seal Madeline, I don't know how to pronounce it either, and Mary Thomas to the planning board.
I'll second.
Great, very good. Any further discussion? Sounds like some great people to go on there. Really great to have some volunteers on the planning board. No further discussion, then we can vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
So those are approved. We can
They
sign
are
those.
wanting to turn or around the appointment very quickly, so that they're hoping to possibly even have a meeting by Monday, which means posting tomorrow. So the appointment slips are in your boxes to sign. And who is the person who's coming in last tomorrow? I can't remember.
That would be me.
Okay, Dan, I'll leave instructions for you, but would you be willing to make a copy, put the original and the copy in the planning board box for them to pick up? Then they can make arrangements with Anna for getting sworn in.
Yep, sure. Josh?
Josh has-
Those are till May, right? Till the election?
That's
Oh.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
It's an interim appointment. Anna?
You can have them, just put the appointment slips in my mailbox and I will contact them for Saturday. And then I don't have to chase them down and they won't be able to get into the building until Saturday anyway. So it would just be simpler that way.
Okay,
And just make sure the appointment slips do read until May 2nd, not June 30th.
till May 2nd. Okay, yeah, they currently say June 30th, but I'll change that.
So does that let me off the hook for copying and et cetera? Anna, you're gonna do that or?
You're welcome to make the duplicate copy. I keep one copy in my office and one goes to the appointee. It's up to you whether you want a copy or if you don't, I can do it.
No, I don't need a copy as long as you're doing all that.
No, I need to have 2 copies. So if you don't want to make the copies, I'll do it Saturday morning.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll put the one form, you'll put the one form in Anna's box when you're done signing, Dan, and then she'll handle it from there. Thank you, Anna. I really appreciate you doing that.
Okay, good. Topics not reasonably anticipated. Anybody have
I don't
anything?
have any.
Lori, Gillian?
I don't think so.
No, I just had I could give a couple updates on Code Red and IT
Okay,
regional. And then just wanted to follow up on if we've heard back from Hilltown that regarding the MOU.
We haven't heard back and I haven't followed up. So
Okay,
I can put that.
put it on the to-do
back on the
list.
list. Yeah.
Okay. So Code Red, we did another training. I think we're all starting to get a little bit better. Last Wednesday, and I will send in for a posting. Let me just confirm the date for an actual meeting so we can discuss and decide on some things next Wednesday, the 23rd, to meet probably 7 o'clock. Later seems to work better for people. It's been really hard to
Is
find a
that-
common time.
Did you, so have you set that meeting yet?
I haven't sent it yet. I was gonna.
Because we actually have our first public safety meeting that night,
Oh, okay.
which is all the same people.
Well, I wonder if we could dovetail somehow.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I'll talk to you afterwards.
Depends on how
Joint
much.
Code Red Public Safety meeting.
There's too many
Good
meetings.
work.
See, that reminds me, I have to post that.
Oh, you were gonna have to post the public safety meeting.
That's okay. Actually, I can do it on Monday, or you can do it. I can ask you to do it on Monday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. I'll do it Monday. If you just give me your agenda.
Yeah, I don't even know what agenda. It's the first meeting. I just say, figure stuff out.
Right.
Figure stuff out. Yeah, so I'll follow up. If it doesn't work for that Wednesday, I'll figure out another time. I'll
Okay.
look at our meeting schedule. And so that's pretty much all I have to share about that. And then,
I just want to get clear. I'm sorry. I just want to
Oh.
make sure I understand. So you guys are going to explore whether you're going to have a joint meeting and whether it needs to be posted on Monday, and let me know agenda items and I can post on Monday if needed. Okay.
and then I met with Sean, who is from the Collins Center, who's working with us on the IT regional grant project, just to kind of find out what the next steps are, where are we at. And he and Michael are going to work on scheduling another meeting with the towns who first joined us for our first meeting, to get a better sense of who's really interested in furthering the conversation. What we found out is we're all in very different spots in different places in terms of IT, which makes it a little bit harder, and that Wendell may need to come up to a certain point before it's really going to work for us to work together with another town. So we had some conversations about that. I think Wendell will need to have another conversation soon about how we can make a plan for upgrading some of our equipment and software and other things so that we can be in a place where we can collaborate with some other towns. And the Collins Center is also thinking about that and feels like that can fit into this plan process, that it just might not be what we envisioned at first, but develop a plan for how to get there.
Okay,
So that's where we're at with that. And I'm waiting for them to come back with another meeting date.
okay,
But we're making kind of slow and steady progress.
yeah. That sounds great. Thanks for that report. And that's a hard job, figuring that out.
It is. So a lot of moving pieces. And then we get new equipment too, so I already need to update our spreadsheet about what equipment we have, hardware we have
Mm-hmm.
in what offices. Is your new computer working well, Glenn?
It's starting to, yeah. Little bit of a bumpy ride getting it set up this morning, but it somehow resolved itself magically.
Oh, good.
But I'll share with you the equipment I just purchased so that you can put it on your spreadsheet.
Okay. Software and hardware.
Okay. With that capacity building project, so can you help us in terms of kind of laying out for us exactly where we would need to be in order to be at a place of being able to cooperate with the other towns?
I don't know if
Like set
exactly,
catchment?
but I think in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah,
that needs to be a bigger conversation, but it's been what we had last week, but it's certainly moving us ahead in terms of even developing a schedule for replacement of equipment.
Yeah.
And suggested, I mean, definitely like mapping out a plan of do this first and then do this and then do this. And here are some options and here are some options. So there's options. But it's a process.
Do you have minutes from these meetings that you're having?
So the meeting I just had with Sean, I don't have, it was just he and I don't have minutes from that. I have some notes that I took.
Yeah.
I could try to type them up and just so you have a.
No, I was
general
thinking,
sense.
I was thinking that if there's a meeting and if there are minutes, it would be great to forward them to Glenn and others.
So far,
So,
so the first meeting was me, various towns, and Michael said he would take notes from the Collins Center. I haven't seen anything, so I could ask him for that, but it was sort of a fact-finding mission of where different towns were at.
I would say any future meetings, if there are notes, forward them on to us. And
Will do.
so we're all on the same page. That'd be great.
Yep.
Okay, anything further, anybody?
I don't think so. Oh, the only thing I just thought of, we don't have to do this now, was the old business, sorting of the old business. We can do that through email, right? I know Gillian had said something about it.
Oh, and I actually,
To the agenda.
Glenn proposed that when he shares out agenda items, he'll also share the list of old business to see if any of that needs to go on the agenda.
Oh, perfect. That sounds great. All right.
Yeah, so you can each write a note saying which items you want to save. That would be great.
I think I
that-
kind of still want to save all of them, but the idea of touching base on, like, seeing that list on a regular basis gives us an opportunity to be like, oh, right, where are we at with that one? And sometimes we can take things off the list as we finish them up.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a list for you all, your purposes as you're building the agenda of past agenda items that may need to come back up. And we can maintain that together by email as we're building the agenda.
Great.
Great.
And it seems like maybe just having a standing item on the agenda for sharing updates, like where people are not going to be deliberating or making motions or whatever, but just to say we'll share updates from various projects.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, good. Okay.
And did we, so here's another thing. Are we going to decide about, and we can put it on the agenda for the next meeting, in-person meetings?
Does sound like an
Um,
agenda item.
Yeah,
Sounds like we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
let's do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can think about it a little bit more.
See how warm it gets.
And if those
Okay.
numbers go the wrong direction.
Yep.
Looks
Hmm.
like we're poised to adjourn in record time at 8 p.m. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Thank you all very much.
I'm gonna go put the meeting dates on my calendar.
Stay on, Josh.
Um,
Can hear you.
oh,
And now
is
you're
the
on.
warrant on the website, or will be on the outside the office by Monday, right?
It'll be posted by Wednesday, 2 weeks prior to the
Yeah,
town meeting. Yeah, but
Is it on the, is it anywhere I can see the draft warrant?
Well, don't mind me sharing it with Josh and to you, or should I?
I think it's fine with me.
It would be good to put it in the, summarize it before. Well, let's see, if it comes out next Wednesday, it would be seen the following Thursday, just at.
Right after the meeting.
So
I think it's-
there's a lag time because,
No, I think it's fine, Glenn, for you to send Josh a copy of this, of the warrant as you have it now,
yeah, draft is
Great.
fine,
a draft
Yep.
copy.
a draft
Yep.
copy.
It is a public document. We've had it here at the meeting, so there's no restrictions on it.
Totally,
And I
yeah,
think
absolutely.
Be
I'll put
helpful to
draft on
him.
it and- Absolutely, sure.
Thanks.
And then make sure to send the final copy to Katie, right?
Yeah. that would be
Yes.
great. Yeah, same address.
And Anna, do you need it too? No. I just think you need all forms.
Wait, I was typing something else. What do I need?
Oh, the
A
warrant.
copy of the warrant, the special town meeting warrant.
Oh, I need a copy of the one after all of you have signed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I have the draft version. I don't need another copy of the draft version, but I do need it with all the article numbers in it, please. It gets submitted to my mailbox.
Yes, and you need it with the signatures, and I think that I usually give you the original. Along with
correct.
the return of service,
That
which
is also correct, yes.
hopefully Glenn has found the blank form for that by now.
Not yet, but I'm sure I'm just about to find it.
Yeah, it's got to be there somewhere. If not, we can find it somewhere else. Okay, very
Okay.
good.
I'll see you soon, Glenn.
All right, see you soon. I'll be here.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Night.